welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Bond. I'm a psychic medium, a spiritual empowerment coach. And today we're going to talk about oracle cards, how to read an oracle card, and the three things that literally so many spiritual guides and teachers are not telling you. Why is this so important for me? I'm going to tell you that as well. So welcome. Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, get your journal out, maybe lie down and receive this transmission because today is going to be a goodie. So before we start, we're just going to use the tool of Paleo Santo. The reason why we use this is to clear the space, to clear any energy that is not in alignment for what we want to convey and bring through in this transmission. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath in and breathing out, relax, drop your barriers, open your heart, and be present here today. Whether you are taking notes, whether you're lying down and just receiving the transmission, whether you're driving in your car, I invite you to be present with this vibration because today you will learn or remember something. It might be one golden nugget, it might be the whole thing, or maybe it's a vibrational upgrade. So let's get into it. We're going to cover three main topics, and then I'm going to do a card reading and show you exactly how I do it. The first one is clearing and why your ego might stop you from doing the best reading ever. The second one is vibration. We need to look into what vibration you're being when you are being the reader. And the third one is expectation. Why and how you can manage your expectations and potentially drop all expectations of your reading. Okay, so let's get into this. The first one, clearing. So yeah, you can use clearing tools like the Paleo Santo. We also love a good old vibrational essential oil spray, which is from the moonlight that has got the crystals in it, of course. We can have different things like beautiful ornaments, statues, which, gives us that energy and vibration of the ascended masters, the Christ consciousness. We can have different tools, vibrational tools like sound bowls. Of course, creating a space that is going to be clearing out any energies is really important. But what the most important thing to do is to leave your ego at the door. So as a psychic medium, a spiritual empowerment coach, I do many programs and certifications on mediumship. My signature program is Magnificent Mediumship Certification. And 90% of the people that come to me, if not more, are afraid of getting it wrong. I too was the same. And it wasn't until one of my mentors said, you need to leave your ego at the door and realize this is about the person you're reading for. It's not about getting validation if your readings are correct. Evidence is amazing, but you've got to leave your ego at the door. So clearing is number one. It is paramount to your success as a reader, as an oracle card reader or a medium, a channel, whatever you're doing. You have to clear out the space because the Paleo Santo and the statues and the sprays are only going to work if you are doing the inner work yourself. They will help to raise the vibration, but they're not going to clear entities, right? There's so many people that go, I Paleo Santo and I white sage my house every single day, but I'm still having night terrors. Well, you can't expect a herb or a piece of wood to literally clear your space from dark energies or entities if they are within you. So you need to leave your ego at the door and realize that the reading that you're doing is not about you. It's about the person that you're reading for. Ego comes in two forms. It can be the, I am too good for this. I'm not charging enough. Do you know who I am? I am always right. So a very fixed mindset. Or it can come in, which is the more often version, is the, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't want to get a no. What if it doesn't make sense to the person I'm reading for? What if I can't bring spirit through? What if I can't see anything? And although this seems very normal, that is still ego. So what I do before I do a reading is I say, "Hey, ego, you go wait at the door because I'm in a safe zone right now. I've got my spirit teams, my spirit guides, and the true white light from the highest frequencies and vibrations. I am the strongest entity in my reality. There's nothing to fear. I clear the space. I leave relationship stuff over there. I leave money stuff over there, the to-do list over there, the parenting to-do list over here. Anything that's going on in your world needs to be put aside so you can be a clear channel. Your ego is there to keep you safe. And we often hear about ego deaths. We often hear about an ego death, or like, I don't have ego. That is ego. Your ego and fear are here to serve you, to keep you on the path. Just like your not self theme in human design, or frustration or bitterness or anger, is it's not to be dismissed. We can't go, I'm not in alignment anymore because I'm not of love and light. Like, you're human. You're here to feel, and your ego and your fear and your feelings are relevant, but not when it comes to doing a reading. You step into a vortex of service, of love, of the highest form of frequency. You bring in all the different tools that I just shared with you to bring in this beautiful essence to clear the space. You leave your stuff at the door and you show up for the person. That is the number one thing I want to share with you. Paleo Santo is not going to clear entities. The feelings that you have of fear of failure, fear of fraudulism, or, I don't really attract people that think that they're too good, but there are people out there that think that mediumship is only for a certain type of people and anybody else is a fraud. That's called ego. We all have the same abilities and we have different capacities depending on our practicing and depending on how much energy we're putting into it. But the number one thing you need to know is your ego needs to be left at the door. You can pick it back up later. It can come and insert itself in if you need it to get you back on track. Utilize all parts of you. Clear the space physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and show up for the person. Now, why is this so important as well? Because if emotions come in when you're reading for somebody, they will. Emotions or thoughts or memories, you may think that they belong to you, but they don't. They are a mirror of the person that you're reading. So when we are clearing the space for a reading, even if it's just a simple oracle card pull, it's really important to say, I'm here for the person that I'm reading for, and all the thoughts and feelings, all of the things that come up for me that I feel within my body are really belonging to the person that I'm reading for. Utilize your body like it is literally, I like to say, a remote control. Like, there's always these buttons. There's the emotions button. We can see things, we can hear things, we can know things, we can sense things on the skin, we can get the goosebumps. And really just using that as a compass for your direction, using that as your toolkit. So when you get yourself out of the way and you know it's for the person that you're reading for, then what happens is something beautiful. You become a very clear and clean channel. Your ego doesn't tell you, are you getting it right? Because you know you're getting it right. Even if you're getting no's, each no you get is getting you closer to the thing that your client needs to know. Okay, so we're going to leave number one there. I'd love to know how this is landing for you. Number two is vibration. So what I notice with a lot of spiritual mentors and guides and people that I've followed and studied is they may have like a shitty life, a shitty personal life, and they might be broke and they may be like in a really bad relationship, or they may be like really unhealthy within their body. And there's kind of like this imbalance of what a medium is meant to look like or be. And there's this kind of sometimes a bit of poverty around the energy of being a reader. This goes all the way back to the witch wound, because everything was kind of like behind curtains. And you see the scene when you're walking into that shop, the crystal shop, and you go out the back and there's those like those curtains, the ones that have got the like the fly curtains that they've got the beads and you've got to go through and it's dark in there. And there's smoke and there's a crystal ball and, they're wearing these clothes and there's kind of like a mothball smell. That has been projected. So you've seen that and programmed into your system. So you think mediums are that way. Or you've been programmed to think a witch has got the big nose with the pointy hat. The pointy hat was literally the fashion back in those days. Like everyone had pointy hats, by the way. The big nose may have been the culture where there was bigger nosed humans. Yeah, like literally, you can Google this stuff. Of course, they didn't have bright colors back in the olden days, so people wore black and they wore these dresses, and you weren't really meant to show a lot of skin. So literally, they've portrayed the witch as this kind of down and out energy is ugly, that has got this big nose, and then they've made her green. And then we've seen this on like Wizard of Oz, like the green witch and then the good witch, and there's no in between. Where's the normal fucking witch, right? We are the normal witches, but because we don't fit into the category of the perfect or the dark, that duality that we've been shown so perfectly, it's not real. The vibration that you be when you tap into your inner oracle, when you tap into being an oracle card reader, when you tap into be a magnificent medium, is one of you being your greatest vibration. So for me, it's really important before I go and do a reading with people to do a little bit of an audit. Nothing is ever going to be perfect in life because we're always growing and going through rhythms and cycles. We're always shifting our vibrations, expanding, evolving. But what I like to do is I make sure I'm vibrationally able to hold a certain capacity to show up in my greatest form and frequency for the person that I'm reading for. So again, a lot of what I've been sharing, like we've got the wands and the cards, and we've got the sprays, we've got the like white sage and the paleo Santa. All of these are vibrational tools that we can use. Even this beautiful tool that I have here, and I've also got sound bowls and drums. And this means nothing if my vibration is shit. If I just had an argument with my husband and my vibration is low, you can't just go into reading for somebody else. It's just like if you are doing a if you're a masseuse, right? I had a masseuse say to me, I was booked in for her and she messaged me and said, I'm sorry, I'm in a bad place. I can't message you right now because I don't want to transfer the energy. And I was like, yeah, good. I want to be touched by somebody who's in a good vibration. So there's a couple of things here. First of all is, yeah, some of us, we have struggles in life, and if you are going to be a reader and you've got things happening in your relationship or financially or with your body or whatever, yeah, it's very much like the first one, leaving the ego at the door. You're going to have to get yourself into a state that is vibrationally a match for what you want to bring through. If you start reading from a vibration that is low, you will attract those types of clients, but you'll also attract those types of beings. And this is where they say, like, doing seances and, invoking, like, all these different things. Like, it's dangerous. It is dangerous because who you be when you're doing a reading is what you attract. Super, super important. So to be a vibrational match is to, if you've got issues going on, leave them at the door, love and light, and bringing in the energy and clearing the space and, using the tools, but also opening your heart and remembering to step forward to do a reading for the person, leaving your ego at the door, leaving your problems at the door. Because when I was a hairdresser and I'd gone through a big breakup with my partner, I still had to show up to work. So I showed up with a smile and I literally was like, I'll pick that up later. But if you want to be a really incredible oracle, if you want to go down the spiritual path of awakening, but also having a conscious life and living consciously, clean up the vibrations in your life that are not in aligned with where you want to go. Meaning, if you've got things going on in your relationship, if you've got addictions, if you've got stuff going on with your body or your finances or friends or whatever, these are what we call energy leaks. And for the long term relationship with being an oracle, being a reader, being a conscious leader in the world, if that's what you're choosing, maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, hey, man, just I'm here to learn how to read the oracle card. Maybe this is too deep for you. Maybe this is exactly what you need to hear. I just trust whatever I'm saying is perfect for whoever is listening right now. The way you act in one way is the way you act in all ways. The way that something's happening and creating in your life is the way you are in all areas of your life, because you are one holistic being. And if I'm feeling a certain way, or if money isn't coming in a certain way, or if, whatever, if my spiritual connection isn't going as strong as I would like it to be, or whatever is going on, I go work on here. I go sit in the energy. I become a vibrational match for what I'm choosing to do and be. I attract the most incredible clients that are very high vibrational, because I'm always working on my vibration. What is the key to this? Love. Love is the key. An open heart where you are like, I am a vibrational match for the highest frequencies and vibrational beings from the highest realms, from the true white light. I'm available for these beings to serve me and serve my clients with only love. Now, there's many different entities and we can attract all of them. And we can do this when we're doing oracle card readings, right? I don't believe in just pulling a card. I believe you need to know these things, and people aren't teaching you about how you've got to leave the ego at the door, how you've got to be a vibrational match for what you're wanting to choose. They put like literally manifestation and spirituality, like they're two different things. They're not. They are one thing. So becoming a vibrational match creates the space. When you create the space, the people will come. The readings are brilliant. So leave your ego at the door, be the vibration to attract. And of course, the next one is expectation. When we have an expectation of spirit coming through, of doing a kick-ass card pull, of making lots of money, when we have an expectation of the readings, of the spirit, of the client, of what we're going to get, we will always be disappointed. So when I show up to anything, whether it's a live card pull, whether it's a one-to-one reading, whether it's like a YouTube educational video, I drop all expectations and I say, God, spirit, universe, show me how to be the best channel I can be. Please come through me. Touch those that need to hear this today. Bring people to this educational video that need this, that want this, or maybe someone shares this with someone who goes, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be for everybody. So the expectation when we are pulling a card, the expectation has to be of, I am open to all possibilities of what requires to come through. And I will always say to people when I read for them, spirit may or may not come through, because I can't control spirit. I cannot control my clients and their reactions or how they're going to respond to me in the reading. Quite often I'm doing a reading and they're going, no, this doesn't resonate. No, it doesn't resonate. Later on, they go, oh my God, I remembered who that was. It was my grandma. But in the moment when I'm doing a reading and I'm expecting to get it right, we loop back around to ego and vibration. So ego, vibration, and expectations is one big circle. I'm not seeing guides teaching this. The no's are just as important as the yeses. And every really, really good reader that I've ever experienced, been to their shows and all that type of thing, they ask a lot of questions and they get a lot of no's, but it doesn't faze them. They're like, right, okay, tick that no off. So I wonder if it's this one. It's not a game of guessing, and many people think that mediumship is fraudulism because people are asking questions. But asking questions and figuring out the puzzle, creating the tapestry, of what is required, because it's really hard for spirit to come through for us, right? It's hard for them to come through, is actually really, really beneficial. And the cards, and this is the cards I'm going to use today and pull you a card and show you how I read it. The cards are a tool. And if you watched my last video, you can go check that out, all about the essence of cards and the cards that I use and the relationship I have with cards. You'll know that they are a tool, but they are also a personality. It's also a friendship. It's a relationship. And they are their own entity, just like we are our own entity. So you need to clear the space, leave the ego at the door. You have to be a vibrational match for what it is that you want to be doing, meaning I'm only available for ... angels and ancestors and guides. I'm not available for any low vibrational beings, although many parents will come through and maybe there was like this abusive thread, or maybe there was suicide and they come through for like apologizing, for forgiveness and to make things right. That happens, but that's still high vibrational because it's on a healing level. Okay. So if you follow these rules, these invitations, these offerings, you will find that your mediumship and your oracle card readings will become so much sharper because you'll be able to go deeper, ask the right questions, leaving your ego at the door, being a beautiful vibrational match, no matter what's happening in your life. But I also recommend to go clean up any energy leaks in the background before you become a magnificent medium, before you become a famous oracle card reader. It's really important to know that you are what you do. Okay. And then, of course, we've got the expectations. I have no expectations of what's going to come through from spirit, from the guides. And I'm always blown away at what does come through because I never expected it. Sometimes we time travel into portals and do healings from different planes and dimensions. And other times I'm like literally like, wow, we got spirit 1, 2, 3, 4 lined up here. And I put my oracle cards down. I said, well, the messages from your loved ones are more important today for you than actually the card pull. So we have to drop all expectations and go with the flow. Anything you say is going to be of service for who you're reading. Something I teach in is 99% of what you say is not going to make sense to you, but it's going to make sense to the person that you're reading for. And when I was doing a reading the other day and the cards weren't talking to me, I just literally had to go straight into a channel of mediumship. And I had to say, is this resonating with you? Because for me, I feel like I'm walking in the dark, but I'm just saying what's coming through. And she's going, it makes total sense for me. And that's all that matters. And the reason why I ask, is this making sense for you? Is this resonating for you? Is to know that I'm on the right track, because my expectation isn't that I get it, it's that my client gets it. Okay, so we've got my favorite deck here. This was my first deck. And before I get into this, I would love to know, has anything popped for you today? Is it the first one, which is all about the ego, leaving the ego at the door, clearing the space, using the tools as tools, not your everything? Is it the second one, which is vibration, being a vibrational match for the now, but also cleaning up your life around you so you can evolve and be a vibrational match for what you're bringing in from the future? Or is it expectation, which again is leaving the ego at the door, but it's about getting the no's and knowing that whatever you say may not make sense to you, but it will make sense for who you're reading for. I would love to know 1, 2, or 3. Pop it down below in the chat box. If you are finding this video valuable, please push subscribe, share with a friend, pop it on your Facebook page, flick me a message. I love it when I receive messages when people are saying, oh my gosh, I had this memory or this remembrance, and here I am like watching this and I just resonate with you so deeply because we've got the same story. So I love to know what resonates with you so I can give you more of what it is that you are calling for. Okay. I get my deck of cards. This is my good OG cards. I love these cards. They're my favorite cards in the whole entire world. They're real basic and easy to read. I pull them out of the deck and I've gotten to know them. So go check out the video about how you can connect with your cards. It's a really in-depth 40-minute video. But what I do is I've got to know them really well, like a good friend, right? And I pull them out and I give them a tap and I usually hold them to my heart or in my hands and I'm just like, I clear them. Why? Because just like crystals, crystals pick up energies, even from spirits that are walking on through or from someone who's walked past them. So it's really important that we do clear our crystals and clear our cards. So I tap on them. And quite often, if I'm reading for somebody, well, actually, always, if I'm reading for somebody, I tap on them and say, I'm going to do a card reading for this person. And I say the person's name. I start shuffling the cards. Now, some people like to shuffle a lot. I just do what I want. So sometimes I go, one, two, done. Usually it's like I just shuffle until I get a stop. Some people shuffle for like 5 minutes. I'm like, why are you shuffling for so long? Like maybe they don't get a stop straight away. For me, I shuffle and until sometimes it just starts going on the same thing. I'm like, oh, look, I can't shuffle anymore. Okay, we must be here. Or sometimes one flicks out. These ones are really tame cards. So I've got another deck where things fly out and they pop out. And then I'm just like, well, like they're really active, but these ones are like really well behaved. They don't usually fly a lot. So shuffle the cards. Then I just stop and I pull a card. When I pull the card, so I'm tuning into you guys, right? So I'm tuning into this collective right now. I pull the card and I feel. So I open my heart. So when I teach about doing an oracle card reading, the biggest thing I teach is to get out of your head and into your heart, to tune into the person that you're reading for or the collective that you're reading for. So my heart is feeling very open right now. So I'm going into a bit of a channel. My eyes are dropping down. So there's actually a shift from being the spiritual teacher and teaching you the 3 steps of to read a card to actually going into a channel and being the reader. There are different modes that we have as humans. When I look at this card and you can tell my eyes have dropped down, I've gone into this really beautiful space of the 5D and the color is popping for me. So when we look at a card, we can literally go, what is popping out for me right now? Are the words popping out? Is the color popping out? Is there a story that I see within the card? So for me, the lights and the color are popping out. Now, if I read this yesterday or even 5 minutes ago and I read it for somebody specifically or for myself, I wouldn't see the lights or the color. Maybe I would see the deer and the girl. Maybe I'd see the words down below. So whatever is relevant at the time, this card is not a rinse and repeat card. This card has a different expression. It's like we wake up every day and we do our hair and our makeup and our clothes are different. It's like it dresses up differently. It expresses itself differently, even though it looks the same, it's dressed differently from a vibrational sense, depending on who we're reading. So the color purple to me means spiritual. So anyone who's listening to this is going through a spiritual awakening. Now we could say, ha, 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 obviously, but that's what I feel. So I'm just going to say what I feel. Anyone that's watching this is here on purpose. That have made it this far because they're going through a spiritual awakening. They are hungry to be spiritually aligned. They may not know exactly how to do that. And that's why the word travel is popping in, because this is a traveling experience where it's a scenic route. We're picking up this, we're anchoring it in. We're picking up this, we're anchoring it in. It is literally an experience. When we travel, we go through experiences. I just booked a retreat like 5 minutes before I jumped onto this YouTube video. Why? Because I had this hit. I need to go to that retreat. It's in like 5 weeks. I need to go to it. I paid the money. That's my experience. It's my spiritual journey. We all have different ways of traveling and doing things. We can travel in meditation. We can travel when we're watching a YouTube video, when we're learning. We can travel when we are literally going to a different place. We shift our environment. In our dreams, we can travel as well. So when I look at this and I see the light, so the purple is the spirituality, but when I see the light, it's nearly like orbs and you can see them all on top of the deer. And this reindeer obviously is an old reindeer and there's all these different spikes coming off the reindeer little things here. What are they called? Oh my goodness. When I'm in a channel, I forget words as well, literally, because I'm in this channel. So they're all possibilities. And like I just said, you're grabbing this, you're anchoring it in, you're grabbing this, you're anchoring in, you're grabbing this, you're anchoring in, you're grabbing this. You're anchoring in all these different things. We've got all these different tools, from the Paleo Santo to to share the smoke around, to the sound bowl. All these things create this curation of magnificence. Your spirituality isn't one person or one thing. It's this accumulation of knowledge and experience that we must travel through the portals through. Okay, so that's what I'm getting, is probabilities, possibilities for your spiritual experience. We are taught that this one thing will give you the thing, but it's never the one thing. It's the bringing the things in, the integrating them, and allowing yourself to go, I'm going to go to that retreat, or I'm going to do that program. I'm going to go read that book, or I'm going to go do that meditation. All of it is a dance. It's a dance with nature. When I look at this as well, is it's showing me the joy. Okay, so we can be way too serious with our ascension processes when we wanting to transcend. We're like, I got to get this right. I got to get this right. Everything has to be perfect. I'm putting everything into this because I paid $50 for this, and this has to work. And like, these cards, the thing, like. How many people have got more than one jacket? How many people have got more than one deck of cards? How many people have done more than one program or have had more than one coach? Me, 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 me. Because it's never the one-stop shop. Okay? It is about following your intuition with joy and passion and purpose. Joy and passion and purpose. Joy and passion and purpose. We're meant to evolve and to move on. We're meant to be seasonal. We're meant to go into sprints, and then we're meant to have lots of fun. Then we're meant to have lots of rest. Then we're meant to literally integrate what we learn on a soul level, not an intellectual level, not a transactional, but more of a transformational. So for you, it's really important to bring the joy and the fun and the passion, the purpose into your spirituality, because traveling in whatever sense that means to you, going through this journey is literally the scenic route, because your presence is super important within it. So, quite a lot I can get from this card. And because I'm reading for the collective right now, if you're listening to this, I am reading for you, because time isn't real, whether you're listening to this a week after I record it, a month, a year, 5, 10 years, it doesn't matter. You need to hear something, because we can time travel and read things from the future. Psychic mediumship. Okay, so the deer as well, the antlers. That was the word I was looking for, antlers. When I'm in a channel, I just forget words. I forget people's names. It's crazy. So the antlers, that's what I was talking about. So see the strength of this strong deer. See the power. That just goes to show you the things that you have around you, the resources, just like the spirit guides, the angels, the ancestors, your God, literally your mentors, your coaches, the programs, the tools that you have, the crystals. Crystals are literally living entities, right? Maybe using a beautiful wand with a Lemurian crystal. Whatever you have is a tool, but you are the creator, the director, and the writer of your reality. Okay, so I'm going to wrap that up now, because that's a lot from one card. And like I said, I can read this card for many different people, including myself, and I could read that card for the same person over and over and over again. I've never seen those antlers. I've never seen those lights. Yes, I would have recognized it's purple, which I always recognize the outline of the color, but travel may mean something different. I may read for somebody and go, you got an up and coming trip, don't you? Or you thinking about traveling, or maybe you should travel. But in this essence, and maybe that resonated for you, maybe hundreds of people, thousands of people, millions of people are going to listen to this and go, I'm traveling. But to me, I really felt the spiritual sense of travel. No matter where I am, that is where I be, and I'm still traveling within that. So today we have talked about the three things I think are super important: clearing the space, being a vibrational match, and dropping all expectations. When you have unshakable faith in your abilities and you know that you are super important, you're super powerful, and your greatest protection is yourself, is your power, you will realize that you can leave your ego at the door. You can be a really clean channel, and you can allow for the spirit guides to come through you and give the messages to your clients, to your communities, to the people that you love, with pure love, with no expectation. Be a vibrational match in every single area of your life, because the way you act in one way is the way you act in all ways, because it leaks on through. And it's really important to clean up any energy leaks to be the best human being you can be. But not only that, is to acknowledge if you have the fear of failure, to acknowledge if you've got the fraudulism going on, to acknowledge if you are like shaking in your boots and the fear is taking over and it's paralyzing you, rather than stepping into courage, which means walking with fear. My name is Victoria Bond. It has been an absolute honor and privilege to be here with you today. I would love to see you in my Awaken community with Victoria Bond, where I do live card pulls. You can go check out my website. We've got all of the details below. I have got free programs. I've got memberships. I have got magnificent mediumship certification. I would love to build a relationship with you, to get to know you more. And I'd love to know what landed for you today. Until next time, namaste.